Hi everyone, pleasure to be here. Thanks you Amir, thanks for Jim and the Cloud Security Alliance and what have been contributing to the industry for the last almost 2 decades now. So, just to make sure it works, perfect. So the AI market is rapidly evolving. Up to six years ago, it was estimated that AI will contribute about 15 trillion to the global economy. Just 2 years ago, it grew to almost 20 trillion. And with AI and the pace that it's growing, God knows the sky's the limit. However, according to researchers, one of the main barriers that could slow down the adoption of AI is the trust. The trust that we can bring to the AI systems and the AI data. So I wanted to take the next 10 minutes, more or less, to double down on that topic of trusting AI systems. My name is Gershoni, and I recently joined PwC as partner to lead their cybersecurity and trusted AI practice. But before that, just up until recently, I've been a CISO for the last 15 years, mostly for global publicly traded American companies, and as well as the Israeli government. 13 years back, I was nominated to be the CISO for the enterprise software business of HP, which back at the time was considered to be one of the world's largest enterprise software companies, was selling in about $4 billion worth of enterprise software products. So I get the role, I take a seat at the table, and I'm thinking what I want to do, and what our mission is. And I got into the conclusion that what our mission should be to build trust and provide peace of mind to our customers. So that was the mission, and we engaged the organization and communicate that to our customers so they will be able to trust us when doing business with us. 11 years after, fast forward, I'm being nominated to be the CISO for ZoomInfo, one of the world's largest SaaS companies. And within that, I'm saying, okay, let's take the same objective, the same mission to build trust and provide peace of mind to our customers and deliver that. So I'm starting to execute, but then boom, more or less 3 years ago, ChatGPT, Gen AI, it comes and it changes the world. And suddenly, when AI and Gen AI comes and it's becoming so accessible to all audiences and all parties, and your business is pushing so hard for that. The question comes, how to build trust when you're not confident about the result of what the systems will generate? I mean, the basics for everything that we do within security, right, is that we know what to secure. We know how to protect the systems, the data from confidentiality, integrity, and availability threats. But when it comes into AI, you know what gets into the system from many sources, whether it's databases and data lakes and many sources that the data gets into. And some of the expected results are actually true, but in certain circumstances, the results are unpredictable, and not even that they're unpredictable, in certain circumstances you won't even know about that. So I took a step back and tried to map the main risks associated with developing and deploying AI systems, and came up with these complicated lists of safety and security and privacy and bias, transparency, ethics, legal, etc. Many of them are outside to the traditional landscape of issues that the traditional CISO will deal with across the cybersecurity landscape. It's even beyond the traditional relationship that a CISO may have with legal, compliance, IT, engineering, etc. So you don't have even the mechanism of how to deal with those complicated problems which could start from biological issues, humankind, and even data science and data engineering issues. So how do you actually solve that problem? And that led me to the conclusion that instead of building trust with customers, we should start thinking in terms of trusted systems, or in our case, trusted AI systems. Trusted AI systems are ones that could demonstrate to our customers lawfulness, robustness, safety, and strong ethics. So it starts with responsible AI. And some of you may have heard that buzzword. But before we get into what responsible AI really means, I want to give you a glimpse into a survey that PwC conducted this year with hundreds of executives across the US. And within that survey, 46% of them said that responsible AI will be a differentiating factor for their products and services across their market. So they're really willing to invest in that. However, they also said, and that's really interesting, 50% of them said that they find it difficult to translate the principles of responsible AI to operational processes and the day-to-day activities of the organization, of their teams. And that translates into the fact that instead of focusing on the high-end risks, the most critical risks that are associated with dealing with deploying AI systems, organizations are dealing with the low-hanging fruits, the easiest things, as you can see within this diagram. So it's complicated, and the reason that it's complicated is because it's new. There is hardly experience in deploying AI systems, in deploying such data systems at scale, and it's costly, and it's a multidisciplinary domain across the organization. So how do we actually start? We need to take a step back and plan that. However, the business is running, the financial incentive of deploying AI systems is insane, right? All businesses, CEO and business leaders are pushing the business hard to continue with that. So we need to find a solution. So this trusted AI is the end result. But to start with, we need to start with responsible AI. Responsible AI is the set of processes, policies, and methods for ensuring the AI is acting as expected. But how do we actually start with that? We need to build a hybrid team with subject matter experts across all parts of the company and start thinking about integrating those controls, the responsible AI controls, into the day-to-day processes. Now, there's no Bible yet for how to actually do that. But you can actually leverage, whether it's the ISO standard for AI, whether it's the EU AI Act, whether it's the NIST AI Risk Management Framework, and additional organizations that have developed best practices for deploying AI systems. But you'll need to, anyway, to take a step back and plan how to implement those controls inside your organization. After you do that, we can shift into the next phase, which is trustworthy AI. The trustworthy AI is the set of KPIs and metrics that will allow you to measure the effectiveness of the controls that you implemented throughout the responsible AI phase of the policies, processes, and standards that you put in the previous phase. Now, once you get into the certain benchmark of KPIs that will ensure that the system is trusted, then you can move into the trusted zone and start talking with your customers about how you are a trusted partner with them, your solutions could be trusted, and be able to demonstrate to that using real-life examples. And by doing that, provide a peace of mind to those customers. I want to give you a sense of how such a model should look like. So there are 5 layers. There is the trusting the model, trusting the data, trusting the governance framework, trusting monitoring and observability for the overall activities, and trusting the actual operation. Now, this is not only about the data, it's not only about the model, it's the overall framework within the organization that needs to be handled. And I want to give you a glimpse on how all of that looks like. So when it comes into the model, we're talking about robustness tests and explainability and model protection and red teaming. When it comes into data, it's governance and lineage and building quality metrics and bias scoring. When it comes into the governance, it's policy enforcement and gates and compliance with many laws that some of them exist and some of them doesn't. When it comes into monitoring observability, we have monitoring drifts of hallucinations and safety and behavioral alerts, et cetera, and when it comes into the operational aspect, some of those are already things that we are familiar with and are easy for us to go and deploy. But it's important to ensure that running those activities, and again, this is not a holistic list of all the activities that needs to be done, just a taste of that. Running those activities will allow you to have a reliable, safe, privacy, preserved, security, fairness, transparent, and explainable and accountable AI system. So to summarize and recap what we talked about, the AI threat landscape is real, it's evolving, we need to take care of that, and we must be ahead of the game. We need to provide our customers with the trusted stamp. So how do we do that? We need to take a step back, build those holistic teams, build the policies, processes based on the Bible, based on the different best practices that has already been developed, and track the progress of new publications that are coming. And we need to measure that. We need not only to assume trust, we need to be able to measure trust. So with that, I'd like to thank you all and hope to see you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tomer, for those insights. With that, I'd like to call this session to an end and invite you all to join us for lunch. We will be resuming at 1:30 exactly. People who are late will face consequences. Thank you.